the next step of Shabbat in for you. We offer this blessing. Oh, okay. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Eternal bless and protect you. Ken yehi ratzon, may it be so. Ya'er panav elecha v'chuneka. May the Eternal's face give light to you and show you favor. Ken yehi ratzon. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Eternal's face be lifted toward you and bestow upon you peace. Ken yehi ratzon. Ken tiyeh ratzona. May it be so. May it be so for you and for all in our world. So let's find ourselves on page 12 as we bring in and welcome angels. Amongst us, angels beyond us, the angel of breath and presence. This is on page 13 in transliteration in Hebrew. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We welcome more of Shabbat with our Psalms. I'll invite you to turn to page 31. We're going to focus on the light and love and happiness and the steadfast of heart. I'm curious what steadfast of heart means to you. Happiness comes to those steadfast of heart. What does that mean? Consistence, faith, truth, loyalty, belief. Being willing to leave your heart open, whatever happens. Okay. Not letting the externals affect the internals, like a conviction of internal knowing. Mm-hmm. Not losing yourself in said externals. Yeah. Happiness comes for those who are steadfast of heart. This is a repeat after me call and response. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Ul Yishrei Lev Simcha. Zarua La Tzadik U'yishrei lev simcha. Happiness for those steadfast of heart. We'll turn to page 39. By the way, I'm so happy to see all of you. I'm so happy. This is such a different kind of Shabbat than the last one we had in this room. Hanukkah was full of sound and lots of people and different things happening, and this is intimate, and still all those things are here, but it's such a different kind, and it's so tender and special to me. I'm so glad we're all here together to make it. Yeah, good. It's really, yeah, Kara and I we were talking earlier, we were just saying how much we miss, we're like ready, we need a Shabbat, we're ready to be at CBH for Shabbat, so here we are making this beautiful space together. So we're here on page 39, and I'm drawn to blessing because that's what this parsha is, so I've been noticing it in all these different ways. I invite you every time we say Baruch to just notice what it brings forth for you throughout the rest of the service. But this end of this Psalm 29, it's the very last sentence. On the very last sentence in transliteration and in Hebrew, it's the second half of it. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, which means giver of, well, this is the interpretation here, giver of worlds, source of life, Adonai, blessing the people in their peace. So we're going to sing this with the melody that I'm going to do as a nigun first. You might recognize it. It's we normally sing it with ahava, rachamim, chesed, v'shalom, love, compassion, compassion, loving kindness, and peace. Instead, we'll use these four last words, 5 last words. Ay, 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 ay. Try that. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 Adonai, Adonai, Yevarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Yay, 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 yay. Giver of words, blessing the people in their peace. Page 41, Lecha Dodi. Oh, come, my friend, let us greet the Sabbath bride, the lover, the Sabbath presence, bring it inside. I'm curious if anyone has a melody that they're wanting to hear with this tonight? What you got, Sandra?
What is it?
Okay, okay, here we go. All right, you know how this works, the top of each page. Lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad Ushmo echad Leshem utiferet ve'litila Hey lecha dodi likrat kala Yananai 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 pene Shabbat Nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala yananai 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 pene Shabbat Nekabela. Top of 43. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor ha-beracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila Hey, hey, lecha dodi likrat kal Yananai, yananai, yananai pene Shabbat Nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala Yananai, yananai, yananai pene Shabbat Nekabela. Page 45. Hitorari, kiva orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla, lecha dodi likrat kala, yananai, yananai, yananai pene Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yananai, yananai pene Shabbat nekabela. Page 47. Yamin usmol tifrotzi ve'et Adonai taritzi al yarish ben partzi venismecha venagila. Hey, lecha dodi likrat kala yananai, yananai, yananai pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yananai, yananai, yananai pene Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom hateret ba'ala Gam v'simcha uve'tzola Toch emune am segula Boi chala Hey, lecha dodi likrat kal Yananai, yananai, yananai pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yananai, yananai, yananai pene Shabbat nekabela. Lovers are here. So I would like to invite Kara to come and join us up here. Kara shared a really beautiful poem from a different prayer book this morning in our staff poem prayer in our staff chat, and I thought this would be really beautiful for us. Psalm 92, which is the next psalm, instead of it's a psalm about gratitude. and giving thanks. And so here we are, and this is a poem that really honors giving thanks and gratitude. Come on up, Kara.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life. This is by Ruth Bryn.
Thank you. So I'll ask all of us, take a moment to feel some gratitude. What are you feeling grateful for right now? What?
The people in the chat asked specifically for a mic.
They asked for what?
A mic.
Oh, yeah, okay. What are you feeling grateful for?
Our loving community.
Being alive. I'm feeling really kind of emotional to have a full house, and we don't get that very often. And then also just, I'm feeling very good about starting a new year and a new beginning and all the optimism and hope of that.
I met a new baby today. He was born prematurely. And so while he is 3 months on this earth, his mother said he's really only 1 month. He was absolutely delightful. His name is Francis.
My health and my love.
Anyone online?
Yes, I'll.
Belonging.
Steve Weintraub says, Emory doctors and good, helpful friends.
Yes.
Sharon Bronstein says, Yasher Koach. Well, yeah.
Beautiful. So for all those named and those things that aren't named that are with us, yeah, we hold that gratitude is one of those transforming energies. So let's keep it going. I'm doing. Yes. Moving on. I'll invite you to rise in body or spirit as we move to the Chatzi Kaddish on page 55. We're transitioning into our evening prayer. We sing together. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ve'amad yirach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agala ba'agala uv'izman karib ve'yimeru amen Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'l'olam maya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imeru amen. We turn to page 57, stay standing. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. I'll invite you to have a seat. Let's turn to page 60 and read together the interpretive version of Asher Bidvaro, which is the divine source in nature. Read that in English. Praised are you, source of life, ruler of the universe, who has ordained the rhythm of life. The day with its light calls to activity and exertion. But when the day wanes, when setting of the sun, colors fade, we cease from our labors and welcome the tranquility of the night. The subdued light of the moon and stars, the darkness and the stillness about us invite rest and repose. Trustfully, we yield to the quiet of sleep, for we know, while we are unaware of what goes on within and around us, our powers of body and mind are renewed. Therefore, at this evening hour, we seek composure of spirit. We give thanks for the day and its tasks, and for the night and its rest. Praised are you, God, who brings on the evening. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamidim l'chalenu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Page 61. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled, ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 65. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, שיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Let's reach page 70 together. So place these words upon your heart, into your life breath, bind them as a sign upon your hand, and let them rest before your eyes. Teach them to your children, speaking of them when you sit at home, and when you walk upon the road, when you lie down, and when you rise. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that your days and your children's days be many on the land. The faithful one promised to give your ancestors as long as heaven rests above the earth. I invite us to turn to page 79. We often sing this as a call and response, but I think we know the melody well enough, and maybe we can just sing it together. Lifting up wonder and liberation. I think those are really powerful notions to put together. Wonder and liberation. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot oseh fele malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam Zeli anu ve'ameru Adonai yimloch leolam va'en. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Amen. Page 80 and 81, and in transliteration 83. Hashkivenu. May we feel the divine canopy, holy, sacred, welcome, restored, expanded. May we feel all these things as we lie down and rise again. Spread over us a shelter of peace. Compassionate God, guard our going forth each day for life and peace, now and always. Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shelomecha Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shalom Shomecha. Baruch atah Adonai. Haporeh Sukkot Shalom. Blessed are you, compassionate one, who spreads over us your canopy of peace. Ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen. Page 83, when fears multiply and dangers threaten, when sickness comes, when death confronts us, it is God's blessing of shalom that sustains us and upholds us, lightening our burden, dispelling our worry, restoring our strength, renewing our hope, reviving us. Page 85. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, ve'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, ve'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Come to page 91, our Amidah. I'll invite you to rise in body or spirit. And words of this prayer are on page 91 through 107. Let the words come off the page as they will, arriving in your heart, or simply speak the prayer of your own heart with your own words or with your breath. We start together on page 91. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Open my lips, beloved one, and let my mouth declare your praise. May my words of prayer and my heart's meditation be seen favorably. On page 107, we sing together. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. May the one who makes peace in the heavens make peace on earth for all of its inhabitants. Say amen. So I hadn't thought this out, but I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna switch locations so that people online can see me too. Just give me a second to be a little awkward here. Maybe I'll do this. No, it's okay. Thank you. So, I wrote a dvar, which is very unusual for me to do unless I have to. Often I like to talk about things and I like to research and get into it, and I would much prefer to talk about the things I'm learning and share those in real time. But it got a writing happened, and so here it is. Vayechi, which is the name of this parsha for this week. It means, and so it happened, or, and he lived. That's more commonly what we know this parsha's name to be, and he lived. It's a strange name for a parsha that begins with an impending death, which is Jacob's. But perhaps that's exactly the point. This Shabbat, we are standing at two thresholds, the new year and the end of the book of Breshit. It's the first book of the Torah, ends with this parsha. And as we are standing at these thresholds, I find myself thinking a lot about what we carry forward and what we leave behind. What gets remembered, what gets forgotten, and how sometimes the work of the new year or of a new beginning is actually the work of accounting for what came before. Vayechi is a parsha about legacy. Usually, I like to talk about less personal things from the Bima and more of the collective learning and the collective, what's in the collective. But this parsha is about family, and it's about gathering those close. So tonight, I decided to share something personal, something I'm still working on to integrate into my own understanding of my family's history. It's new information, so you'll indulge me for it being still in its infant thinking, I think. In this Torah portion, we read about the deaths of two important ancestors, Jacob and Joseph. Jacob begins the parsha where he gathers his family close to him, gives each children, his sons, a blessing, and then makes one final request: bury me in a place with my ancestors in the cave of Machpelah. The parsha ends with Joseph's death, who before dying makes his own request to his family. God will surely remember you, Joseph says, and you shall take up my bones out of here. What he's referring to is what's about to happen as we begin the next Torah book, which is 400 years of enslavement. His request is that when God remembers you, you shall take my bones with you when you leave, which in fact does happen, and we'll hear about that more at Shabbat Shirah in 3 weeks. But this is his request at this time in this parsha. Both Jacob and Joseph are saying, remember, I was here. Account for me. Give me place. Last week, my family honored my Uncle John, who died last February, in what I can only describe as a signature Goldsmith conversation worthy of him, where we weren't exactly clear about his birthday, and so we spent time as family members arguing about whether he was born in 1941 or 1942. Despite my cousin saying over and over, been 1941 my whole life, my uncle and my father weren't so sure. So I ended up taking to the internet in a repeat of this conversation and searching for his birth date. In that searching, I made a very unexpected discovery. I found the burial locations of 3 babies my grandmother had given birth to who had not survived. Their existence was not a discovery. Where they were buried was. As the story goes, my Bubby's first child was stillborn. Then she had 3 children, my uncles and my aunt, who survived. Then came a set of twins, stillborn or had passed on soon after being born, unclear. Then came my dad and my final uncle. Altogether, there were 7 pregnancies, 8 children, and 5 who lived beyond the first days. No one in my family, except my grandfather, knew where these babies had been born, or had been buried, excuse me. At the time, my grandfather didn't want my grandmother to slip deep into grief and buried them in a location unknown to my grandmother. And to add to that, more traditional Jewish death rituals, certainly at the time and even today in many communities, do not allow grieving for a child who does not reach 30 days of age. These Goldsmith babies, until now, have been unaccounted for. Now, I didn't bury the lead, no pun intended. You already know how this story ends. I found them. The boy was stillborn. The girls, the twins, we learned through also a miraculous location of their death certificate online, were born conjoined, sharing one set of lungs, sharing breath for 10 precious minutes before they died together. So this past Christmas, as many around us were celebrating the birth of a baby, my family and I were standing at the grave of the twins, my grandmother's twin girls, finally found. Here's what strikes me. No one who is alive now in my family knew these babies. They weren't around for my grandmother's pregnancies. We all came after. And yet, somehow, these babies live in all of us. They are part of why I'm standing here, part of why my father exists, why I exist. I don't know that we would have existed if they had survived. Locating them feels like a healing in the fabric of my family, not because finding their graves changes the past, but because it changes what we carry forward. These babies are now accounted for, and when I picture the constellation of my family, they have a place, a makom. And like the name for God, hamakom, the place, as we've spent time with this year, I have a new appreciation for how place is holy. Returning to the parsha, when Jacob gathers his children for those final blessings, each son receives their own accounting, their own blessing, their own words. But Dinah, who is also his child, is not there and does not receive a blessing. A daughter present earlier in the Torah, daughter to this father, disappears when the family is gathered and the blessings are given. Like in my family, the unspoken doesn't disappear. There is a hole in the hole. It echoes through generations. What changed when my family found these graves wasn't the babies suddenly existed. They always existed. What changed is that they now have the place, not just in earth, but in our family story, in our hearts. We have gathered all of our family together. Vayechi, and he lived. Jacob lived, Joseph lived, my grandmother's 3 babies who breathed for a minute and one who did not breathe at all. They all lived too. They live in me, they live in my family, and in all of the Goldsmiths who came after them. This is what it means to carry bones forward, to insist on makom, to refuse to let anyone disappear from the story. It is an act of love that spans generations. It's how we make whole what has been broken. Not by pretending that the breaks don't exist, but by acknowledging them, by naming them, by saying, you were here, you mattered, you are a part of us. As we finish Breshit tonight, we step into the new year. I feel these family members differently now. I feel tikkun from my grandmother. I imagine her heart resting easier. In that tikkun, there is grief, but there is also joy. Sometimes tikkun doesn't happen in our lifetimes, but it can and it does happen. I honor my Bubby. I honor Dina, daughter of Leah, and I honor Bubby's baby girls and baby boy Goldsmith, children of Elka Fega Singer. You have a place in the story. You too lived. As we complete the book of the Torah, we say chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek, which means from strength to strength. May we go from strength to strength. In the Sephardic tradition, chazak ubarach, which means from strength and blessing. So I offer that to all of us. May we be blessed with strength to strength and the collecting and gathering of all of ours that is ours to heal and ours to collect. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. So I think it's appropriate that our next prayer we move into is a prayer for healing, which I offer all of the healing that we might need personally, that comes to us in different moments at different times, and also for people that we're holding dear in our lives, people we know, people we're connected to, people we don't know, people on this planet. So I'll give you a moment to just collect some of those names for yourself. I'm going to read some of these names from our Misha Berach list now, too. Scott Epstein, Dory Perling, Nancy Roseblum, Melissa Sachs, Rich Telyahan, Randy Foster, Ava Kotlier, Susan Birch, Sarah Kablak, Rachel Hahn, Margie Osheroff, Jean Kablak, Shirley Olafern, Joe Chansey, Susan Sugar, Robin Cox, Gertrude Bronstein, Sharon Bronstein, Ellis Cowan, Julio Quintana, Michelle Jenny, Margaret Moore, Alex Wen, Deborah Sachs, Sharon Jackson, Cliff Trammell, Jay Boyd, Ken Alpern, Allison Kelly, Ken Alpern. Again, Ken Alpern. And I'll invite you to say names into the room that are here.
Myself, Stephen Dorsky, Diane Dollar, Vera G., Joan Mayer, Allison C., Nancy G., Margie, Gertrude Bernstein, Stan Bernstein, Jackie Leary, David Leary, Michael Hausman, Sarah Sidner, Audrey Adler, Lee Eccles, Michael Ciccone, Nina White.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaChaim Imotenu
Imotenu,
Hu Yevarech
Yevarech,
Ve'yirapeh Et HaCholim Et HaCholim El Narefanala El Narefanala El Narefanalo El Narefanalahem El Narefanali rifana lanu, el na rifana la, el na rifana la. I'm wondering if someone feels the call to lead us in the prayer for the end of hiding. Awesome.
I was thinking about this because, long story short, as a young adult in corporate America, I had to hide my being out, if you will, and I wasn't sure what I was at the time. And it took many, many, many years for me to have a level of comfort about who I was and where I was, and CBH became a place for me that my friend Carol Schumer introduced me to years and years ago, and it became kind of an opening for me. And I had other friends who were very out there, and I just said, how can they do that? And I was very closeted, even to my family, except my sister outed me to my parents, my father. But nonetheless, it was always a hard thing. And one of the things that I chuckle at moving much forward is that when Jackie and I first started to see one another, here she was, if I may, someone I thought was straight. And the first move that occurred, Jackie was the one that grabbed me. And I know this is TMI. That's right. And I said, what? And then I began working in an environment when I left AT&T and blah, blah, blah. I worked in an environment where they didn't really care what someone's color or stripes were, only if they had money. So I was fit in, and suddenly I felt freedom plus the CBH environment, and I think maturing and so forth. And I think a lot of what we say now in terms of who we be in the world, there's a freedom about that. And so for me, it's kind of cool. And I've read iterations of this thing over the years, and we've changed it some. But I think that all of us can suffer a loss of integrity, and no matter whether we're straight, gay, green, blue stripes. And I think kind of we have to live our truth and be as real today, because I think our world is kind of screwed up a bit, and we've really got to just ground ourselves in any way that we can. So anyway, long story short, I'll read this now. And please join me as well. Let's see, we often feel forced. We start with, we start at the beginning. As LGBTQ Jews, we are aware of the loss of integrity we suffer due to the pressures of the larger society. We often feel forced into a dishonest presentation of ourselves, to ourselves and others. The LGBTQ individuals who feel they must pretend to be something that they are not. The Jews who feel they must be alienated from their tradition and community win larger acceptance. Both are victims of a theft of identity and integrity committed by the sexual, gender-identifying, or religious majority. Creator of the universe, we ask that our hiding draw to an end and that we no longer feel we have to pretend, to promise falsely, to renounce ourselves, and that our fullest creative expression as Jews and as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people be among the blessings you bestow upon us. Amen.
Thanks.
I'll invite you to rise, turn to page 121. So we sing our prayer, Aleinu, it's on us. It is on us. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shenatan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We continue on page. What page? 125, thank you. Kakatu v'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'el, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, le'melech al kol ha'aretz, vayom ha'u, yireh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Be seated. If you are observing a yortzeit, if you are in a period of mourning, I'd like to invite you to rise, and if you would like to say your names in the room, I invite you to do so as I come around.
Asher Ben Chaim and Lynn Alpern and Betty Rush.
Anyone online?
Spencer
If you have anyone to say, yeah, you're welcome to unmute and say it out loud.
Spencer 2.
Hank F., Yoel H., The Hostages. Spencer 2, Phyllis Glass.
I'll add Rich Blum and John Goldsmith. And we say together on page 131, Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'ama divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach leolam ul'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. May their memories be a blessing. You may be seated. Well, it looks like there's no board members here. Oh, Jackie. Well, you're right. For just a little bit more. You can stand up there. It's fine.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Congregation Bet Haverim, whether you're here in person or on Zoom. My name is Jackie Sherman. I am, for a few more weeks, the treasurer of the congregation. Our deep gratitude for tonight's service. Thank you, Rebekka. Thank you, Kara. Joel Marshall, the police person, and us as the ONEG sponsors. We're always grateful for all the CBH members who join us each Shabbat. Hey, Jackie, can you hold the microphone Yes, I can, sorry. For all the CBH members who join us each Shabbat, please raise your hand if you're a member. Whoa, all right, good representation tonight. It's a great opportunity to ask questions, hear what's going on at CBH, or just hang out if you go to the 7 p.m. Sunday virtual tea with Rebekka. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Who knows what T stands for? That's right. It could be a lot of things. Find out. Come and find out.
The CBH board will meet on Tuesday at 5:45 p.m. on Zoom. This meeting is open to everyone. We're also meeting the following Tuesday on Zoom to make sure that we're prepared for the congregational meeting, which is not on here, but I want to tell you about. It's at 2 or at 2:30 on the 25th, right? Yeah, okay, so please come. It'll be, I think it's on Zoom and in person this time. So we need you to come. We need a quorum. There are still slots available on Wednesday, January 7th for our CBH blood drive. Sign up and save a life. Yeah. On Thursday, January 8th, everyone's invited to get out of the kitchen and dine out with CBH friends. We'll be at Cafe Momentum, 200 Peachtree Street Southwest, supporting at-risk youth in our community. The meal is Dutch treat. I love it. Sign up using the link on the CBH calendar. We have a lot more going on. We have a new meditation group starting, Intergenerational Shabbat, which is next Shabbat. Mitzvah Day on MLK Day. And we do annual volunteering at MedShare the Sunday before MLK Day, and Shabbat Shira, which I believe is on January 30th at UUCA. So, please. Tikkun Olam, second Wednesday of the month. I said that already. Okay, you can find everything on the calendar. Thanks for coming, and Shabbat Shalom.
All right, I'm going to invite us all to gather close as we do our Kiddush and our Motzi. So we'll sing Shalom as we gather. And over around there, I'll bring it up. Shalom. Yeah. Shalom. Shalom. Thank you. Saving, we grab that. Will you grab it? Shalom. 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 Come in closer if you feel comfortable doing that. Shalom. 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 Savril. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ruach ha'olam, borei peri hagafen. L'chaim. And what do we have under this beautiful rainbow covering? 1, 2, 3, let's find out. Ooh, chalas. Can you imagine that? Who would like to say the blessing for, do you want to say the blessing for challah? No, all right. Does anyone else want to offer our blessing? Great.
All right.
All right, touch someone who's touching the challah.
Wait, okay.
Come on in, Kara. Everyone has. Come join.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
You can wave, we'll wave.
Shabbat shalom.